Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to focus on you and reducing your stress. I'm going to go through a little short yin sequence that's going to help you get rid of stress in those places that you hold it most and have you feeling refreshed once you're on your way. What you'd like to do is have a wall space. You would need some props, maybe a blanket, maybe a couple pillows or couch cushions, and maybe even put on some of your favorite music, maybe even burn your favorite candle. Just have this little downtime for yourself. So when you're ready, we're going to start with legs up the wall. As you notice, I have a blanket down underneath my mat. You don't even need a mat today, but since I'm in my yoga room, I usually like to lay down a blanket or something underneath me just to give me a nice sense of comfort underneath my back as I'm laying down. And then I have an extra cushion which I will put underneath my hips. Hardest part here, getting up the wall, as you know. So you're going to get as close as you can to the wall. Get that shoulder and hip near it, and then start to lay back toward your elbows, taking those legs up the wall. You can be as close or as far away from the wall as you need. So if you're far away and your knees are bent or your legs are straight, no worries. You just want to have those legs up the wall. Now if you have an extra cushion, press into the wall, lift those hips, slide that underneath your hips, and then let that come back down. I just find it's just a nice little sensation. You can even make that higher if you'd like to give yourself a little bit more lift, kind of like an inversion, like a shoulder stand. We're just gonna then be here. So you have a couple options for your arms to begin. You can take them out like cactus arms, if that feels good for you. You can have them rest on your belly. You can have them lengthen toward the wall. So take a nice full inhale here. And sigh it out the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose. And sigh it out the mouth. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Just allow yourself to come into the room, onto your mat, and into your body. Start to check in physically, just scan over the body from head to toe, acknowledging how you feel today. Giving each of those areas of concern a little bit of loving kindness. Then check in mentally, emotionally here. This might be the place you hold your stress most. Just having those wheels spin in the mind. Just notice what's popping around in your head. Noticing if you're thinking about a to-do list in front of you or things that had happened in the past. And as each of those pop up, see if you can give it a little loving kindness. And allow it to send it on its way as if it's a cloud on a breezy day. Just attach that thought, emotion to that cloud and let it drift away. Take a full inhale here. Sigh it out. And allow yourself to become more present in your space, in your body. Become more in tune with your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your belly, the expanding of your ribs. And see if you can relax any tension in your neck and jaw. Just notice if you're holding your jaw, if your teeth are clenched. If your tongue is pressing against your teeth or the roof of your mouth, let it fall back. Maybe even take the back of your head and press it into the floor. And then relax. And you can stay here with your arms if we want to add on a little bit of a stretch for our shoulders. We're going to take our arms up to the ceiling. And then you're going to take your right arm in front of your left and keep crossing them like you're going to give yourself a big hug. And then wrap those arms as much as your hands around you as much as you can. And then let the elbows relax down toward the chest. So you're going to feel a stretch on that top arm. If this is uncomfortable, No need to go as deep, or you can return your arms back to where they were. Just taking big breaths here so you can get your chest to expand a little bit more on your breaths. One of the keys to stress reduction is breathing deep. Another is just taking time to be in the present moment. A lot of our stress comes from planning or hashing over old situations that happened and didn't quite go right. So just be here in the present moment with those deep breaths. On your next inhale, take those arms back up to the ceiling. And this time take your left arm in front of your right and do the same thing. Give yourself a big hug, wrap those arms around, and then let those elbows drop down toward your chest. Just noticing where you feel it, where you feel the tension. Notice if you're clenching your jaw again. Start to deepen your breath. Even if you just do this pose every night or every morning, you might be in a better place this whole next month and years to come. It's one of my favorite poses, especially after I've been out and about in a long day, been on your feet a long time. On your next inhale, take those arms back up to the ceiling. Exhale, reach them back overhead, point through the toes. And then flex through the feet, push the heels into the wall. Point the toes to the wall or to the ceiling. Push the heels into the wall. One more time, point those toes. And then flex through the feet. Good, allow those hands to come back down by your side, either like cactus arms or down to the wall. And then take your right knee, draw it in toward your chest. Take that right ankle, cross it over your left knee. You're going to feel a little sensation in that right hip. You can stay here or start to slide that left foot onto the floor. So you're bending your left knee as well. See if you can take that right hip and lengthen it toward the wall. Lengthen that side waist. And then flex through the feet. Maybe you have your hand on your knee or your thigh as a little kickstand for a little support. But you just feel a nice stretch in your hip. Nothing painful. If it becomes too deep, the leg can go straighter. If you want to go even deeper, maybe you don't feel this, maybe you have lots of range of motion, you can slide that foot down a little bit more. And then press your legs into the wall. So press the front leg into that bottom leg into the wall. Just a couple more breaths here. Having a nice little active stretch for maybe all the passive sitting you might have been doing or the active walking. Take a full inhale here. Side out. Start to slide that left leg straight. Take the right leg off. Pause there for an inhale. And exhale. And then start to bend into that left knee. Take the left ankle over the right foot, or the right knee, and then start to slide that right foot down. And you might notice one side's a little tighter than the other, or maybe a little looser. Take that left hip, send it toward the wall, so you're lengthening your side waist. And then maybe that left hand's a little kickstand to help you continue to draw the knee out and away to externally rotate it. And just breathe here into the sensations, pressing foot into the knee, and then pressing that foot into the wall. So you're pushing and resisting the wall, finding a little deeper stretches, more active stretch. Two more breaths here. Continue to breathe deep. Big full inhale here. And side out. Go ahead and lengthen that right leg up. Take the left leg up. And then draw both knees into the chest. Give them a little squeeze. And then taking both feet to the wall, kind of like a laying down malasana. So if you need to, you can get closer to the wall. You can make your knees wider, but you're going to push your feet into the wall. And then taking your hands, your knees are going to rest in your hands, or even your hands are going to help you widen your knees, just to find a little stretch here. Once you've found that inner groin stretch, maybe even a little release in the low back, engage the glutes, like you want to engage them to stand up onto the wall. So you're pushing into the wall. So again, a little active stretch. Take another full inhale here. Sigh it out. Slowly start to hug those knees into the chest. Good, then you're going to roll to one side. Use your arm as a pillow. Pause there for a moment. And then knowing the wall is beside you, mindfully and as gracefully as possible, press yourself up, coming up to seated. So as you come up to seated, you may want a pillow or something to put under your hips. I'm going to place this pillow under my hips so that my sit bones are a little bit elevated. And then just sit cross-legged for a moment. Sitting up nice and tall. Pause there for a moment. Have any props that you might need handy. We're going to go into just a little bit of a shoulder stretch here. We've worked into the hips. We've allowed those legs to relax. So you can sit up, relaxing the shoulders down. Take a few more deep breaths here. Find that comfortable spot for you, wherever you can sit comfortably. I'm going to have you switch your feet around in a moment. But sitting up nice and tall. And then from here, you're going to take your right arm, reach it out to the side. And then just press into it. Take your right ear toward your right shoulder. And then taking that left hand, reach it out to your side. Rotate that thumb down, and then bring your hand to your low back. So the back of your hand's on your low back. Getting into the shoulders, targeting them. Maybe you start to turn your gaze down. Just feeling the different stretch in the shoulders, the neck. If it feels okay, maybe that right elbow props up on a block or a pillow. Maybe you reach out a little bit longer, but keep yourself rotating to the side. Don't let that left shoulder draw forward. And if it feels good, look back to neutral. And then see what it feels like to even look up. Notice the different sensations in the neck. If you find one of those that bothers your shoulder, that left hand can just be reaching out to the left or even resting on your thigh. Bring the head back to neutral. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the head back up, release the arms to the thighs. Big inhale here. And exhale. Going to the left, walk that left hand out to the side. And then draw that left ear to the left shoulder. From here, take the right arm out to the side, rotate the thumb down, and then bring the back of the hand to your low back. Press into the low back, roll the shoulders back, and then breathing here. Notice those sensations in the neck and the shoulders. Continue to breathe. Sometimes when it becomes tight or we find something that's a little uncomfortable in our body, like tension, we tend to shallow our breath. And that's what causes a little bit more stress because we're not getting enough oxygen. So remember to breathe deep. If it feels okay, start to look down. Just notice the different effect on the neck and shoulder there. Continue to breathe, and if it's okay, maybe your elbow comes down to a block, bolster, or floor. Maybe you walk your hand out a little bit more. And then maybe bring your head back to neutral. See if you can find a little more length. Roll the shoulders back. Remember, it's easy to roll forward. Try to open the chest. And then if it feels okay, start to look up. Just noticing the effects in the neck and shoulder here as you change the direction of your head. And then bring that head back to neutral. Taking an inhale here. And as you exhale, press yourself up as you release those arms, hands to your thighs. Take a moment, close the eyes, just notice the sensations in the neck. And exhale fully. Good, lean back into those hands, switch your feet around. So whatever foot's in front, you're gonna switch the opposite one in front. Just to work on the equal balance of our hips. And from here, we're going to work a little bit deeper into the shoulders and neck. You have a couple options. I'm going to start off with an option that should be accessible to everyone and then just see where you can go from there. Remember, the idea is to keep the stress out of the neck and shoulders, not create more. So as you inhale, take the arms wide. As you exhale, take your right arm on top of your left. We've been here before, and give yourself a hug. Good. This time, instead of letting those elbows drop down, see if you can lift them up a little bit and then send them forward. So you're going to find a nice stretch in your upper back between the shoulder blades and really grab around those shoulders and send those elbows forward. And then for some of you, you might be a little more open in the chest. You might have a little bit more mobility in the shoulders. You might not have as much body mass in front of you. So you might be able to do this next move. The next one, you're just going to bring those arms up toward the ceiling, those fingers, and keeping the elbows crossed. Now, if your elbows uncross, just keep hugging. You get the same effect. If you get here, press the hands together and lift the elbows again and send them forward. So it's just going to get a little deeper stretch. For some people, if they have more mobility, this stretch, they don't feel it as much. I feel it in both places. Take a couple more breaths here. Remember, relax the jaw and shoulders. Good, and then bring those hands back to your shoulders if they've been lifted up. And then now draw those elbows down to your chest. Good, and then lean your head over to the right. So again, getting deeper into that shoulder, into the neck. Taking another inhale here. Exhale. Inhale brings that head back up to center. As you exhale, round into the spine. Bring your elbows toward your belly, chin toward your chest. And then as you inhale, lift up, reach the arms up like you're going to take off a shirt. And then as you exhale, circle the arms wide. This time your left arm's on top of your right. Good, lifting up. Yep, left arm on top of right, sorry. Lifting up through those elbows and then send them forward. And breathing here. And then if it's comfortable, maybe those elbows start to come up, those fingers start to reach up. Backs of the hands are going to press, and again, lift elbows, send the elbows forward. And again, if this creates too much tension in your jaw and your neck, bring those hands back to the shoulders. Breathing in between those shoulder blades, so see if you can get the back ribs to expand backwards, not just the front ribs to expand forward. And then bring those hands back to your shoulders. This time, let your elbows draw down to the chest, so you're expanding the space between shoulder and neck. And then draw your head over to the left. Feeling that stretch in the right side of the neck. Inhale brings that chin back up to neutral. Exhale, round into the spine, elbows toward belly, chin to chest. And on your inhale, lift up, reach those arms up, circle them wide, and hands to your thighs. Good, take a nice full inhale here. And sigh it out. Let those eyes close. Just take a couple moments, scan of the body. Checking in with any areas that might have loosened. Check in with the jaw, the hips. Continue to breathe deep for another 5 or 6 rounds of breath. Just being here present with your breath in this moment. Noticing all the sensations that are happening in your body. Noticing the way the clothes move with your chest as you breathe. Notice the sensation of the heat between your hands and your thighs. Noticing how you're sitting on the cushion or on the floor. And starting to notice all the space around you, above, to the side, in front and in back. Just noticing all that space around you. Becoming more present with each passing breath. And check back in mentally and emotionally. Notice the calm you might be feeling now. And try to remember this sensation whenever you're feeling stressed, whenever you're feeling overworked or fatigued. See if you can just take a few deep breaths in this seated position to help bring you back to how you're feeling now. Allowing that body to remember these sensations. Remember the calm, and try to reduce the stress with just breathing. Take a full inhale here. Sigh it out. Allow your eyes to blink open. Bring your hands to your heart center. Think of one thing in your life that you truly are grateful for. Then hold on to that image in your mind's eye as you let those lips curl up into a smile. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time for yourself. It's much needed these days. Drink lots of water, eat your veggies, and wear some sunblock. We'll see you next time. Namaste.